big Wednesday, big Father Millennial Wednesday stream.
Yeah,
Yeah,
big things planned. You wouldn't believe it. You'll have to tune in to find out more.
we've got to collect junk.
Yeah, we actually picked our item early. This is the first time in 9 weeks or however long we've been doing this. We're like messaging each other early. We're like, maybe we should like plan this.
Yeah, especially because it's only 3 hours long, right? So
Yeah, it's like 2.5 by the time I get my ass in there and ready to go, which
Yeah.
actually seems to have tightened it up quite a bit. Like it seems to work pretty good that way.
yeah, I like that Strike. Like I said before, I'm like, I love how Strike has his like bedtime. He's like, all right, guys, like it's
Yeah.
I think it's midnight Ontario, right?
It's mid 11 their time.
11
that
Ontario.
we shut down, yeah.
He starts shutting her down.
And him and Suds are both like, they're like, no, we're out of here. Like this is the end.
Yeah, I love that. And I think it just adds it comes back to like what we talked about before with schedule. It just it adds so much value to the time that you're on, because you're like, well, we've only got 3 hours to do this, so let's figure this shit out first so that we don't have to trip over ourselves for the first 30 minutes of the stream trying to pick an item and stuff. So
Yeah,
I think that'll be good.
it's pretty fluid now, and there's like at least 3 or 4 regulars that kind of hop in, and then kind of some people join along the way. So it's been going pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many ways you can go with that too. Like, eventually if you had some sort of artwork that you guys could share for the week, you guys could do like, this week we're doing this. Like, where have you guys found these items? You know what I mean? Like, you could be sharing that on Twitter and people could reply and say, oh, you guys need to go to the restaurant in this town.
Yeah, that's right. Or we could do that like exclusively in my Discord, and I could ban Strike from it.
Exactly.
That's an even better idea.
I mean, there's strategies, or like, if someone really wants to win, at least now they can plan ahead. And I mean, there's so many places you can go with something like that. So I think it's
true.
cool.
It's fun.
I think it's only just starting.
Yeah, I think like, I don't know, for Wednesday, I'm like, I have a goal. You know what I mean? Like I know what I'm doing. Not that I think every stream needs to be planned out or anything like that, but I like having at least one structured so that I'm like, okay, I don't have to like spin my wheels and sit here and be like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Because a lot of people that are really good at the game know what they need to do and where they're going to go. But with me, where there's such big gaps in between when I play, I'm usually like 10 minutes at the start, like, where the hell was I kind of thing. So it's kind of nice on Wednesday to just sit down and hop right into it.
Yeah. I was going to say too, I like the multiple items and how different items have different like rarity as well.
And that's just an example of listening to your community. Like we've had some really good people that have watched this that have had a lot of influence into what happens. Like we've really made none of it up, Strike and I. It's been all people that watch and participate, which is one of the things that you see a lot of people say about like, oh, Twitch over YouTube, the community, blah, blah, blah. I do kind of agree with that. I find it a lot more personal. And that's just, be in touch with who's watching you, listen to what they want to see and adjust accordingly, and more people will enjoy it. And that's just kind of the steps that we've taken.
Yeah. I think like, especially now that I've kind of started doing like the YouTube videos and stuff, I've been finding kind of like pros and cons to say doing Twitch and doing YouTube. Like if I almost wonder if the streaming platform on YouTube was a touch better than it is now, and if that had happened when we first started doing this, if maybe we would have decided to have went with YouTube. Only because then it's one place, right? So
that's the big battle. And like with your YouTube stuff, like it's been doing great. I mean, it like I told you before, it outviews these, but I think it's because it's more of a niche, and these are kind of more part of a bigger ocean of similar content. But like your stuff, where it's blowing up so much, you're seeing that you'll get a week's worth of what you would get on VOD views in one video in like 3 days. And that's just like you said, if you the benefit to doing it both on one platform is, people are watching your video and they see you're live, they can just click there. There's no, like, we've always talked about Twitch is the hardest thing, is like grabbing people from over here and like bringing them over. You know what I mean? That's still the hardest part. You can have tons of followers on Twitter and all that. Still the hardest part is getting them to come over. And that's why like this event that you're doing is a good time to try to bridge that gap, especially between your YouTube and your Twitch, and, get your followers on Twitter. Just this kind of exposure, or like, Fenwa with his front page show, like it's the same sort of thing, drop events and that kind of thing. It's a good thing, especially with Twitch. You have to capitalize on those opportunities and make them count.
To speak of that, for anybody that doesn't know, I'm doing the Anno pre-release this weekend, so I'll be playing a game that most people do not have yet, or an expansion that most people don't have. And we're also part of the I'm part of the Twitch drop event, so people can come in and watch and get items in game that they will not be able to get after the 9 days of the drop event. But I was thinking about a lot, because there's a lot of English streamers that are doing it, but a lot of them are actually just YouTube content creators. And what I realize is they're not streaming on Twitch at all. What they're doing is they're getting a head start on the DLC videos, right? The how-to videos, stuff like that. You know, the guys that come out on day one and their video has, 50,000 views, right? Because there's only about 20 English streamers that are going to be able to be recording this stuff. So when I got the email, I think yesterday or today, I was like, okay, like this changes, this might change the amount of streams that I do versus how much content I'm looking to record on YouTube. Right. And that's only just been this last week or so that I've kind of started to open my eyes to some of this shit, because there's people are doing this. I mean, it's cool to go on Twitch and you see, there's 100 people in my chat. That's wild. Yeah, that's crazy for me, when I'm in the 13 to 15 range, usually. But then I start thinking, man, maybe the route is also to try to get some YouTube videos up and try to get a head start on a lot of these other content creators that don't have this partnership with the Blue Byte development guys. So.
Yeah, I think the major benefit to it, like with games like Anno, like you see like these events, they balloon and then it kind of falls off and stuff like that. But the beauty of doing both, and that's what you said, like taking a little less time to stream and making some relative content that that's what grabs people on this game. Like there's a lot more YouTube video views than there is Twitch views, right? 100%. So if they start to see more and more people that, oh, this guy streams this, like, because, in every video you say, follow me, I'm Mr. Elliot on Twitch, click the link, blah, blah, blah. That's where they start to see, well, then they can go watch and they can come in, and instead of just commenting on a YouTube video and asking you like, well, I tried to do this in tourist season, I don't understand how this works or whatever. Maybe they click your Twitch stream, they follow you, and they get the notification, and they come in and they get that interaction where they're like, hey, I've been trying to do this, and then it's you sitting here like this actually talking to them. Like, I think there's a lot of power in that, and that's the offline presence that we always talk about.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's only kind of like just become a reality for us. Like, I know between the lives, like for you and I, that was kind of my idea was, well, how do we bridge, like, how do we form the connection for the viewers that like you and I actually fucking know each other?
Yeah,
right?
I know.
Like, yeah. Oh, I'm his mod. Like, yeah. Oh yeah, you're his mod. Big deal, yeah. Right? Right? So there's like, I thought like, how could we bridge our communities and our followers, and how can we be recognizable in each other's channels? And like, eventually you span that, into a larger web of recognition and stuff like that. And yeah, and then you start realizing with YouTube, what I've started realizing is now I'm like thinking, man, if I have YouTube viewers, pardon me, and they don't come over to Twitch, but they're my YouTube viewer, I'm still winning. I still win, right?
Exactly.
So it's a crazy a whole other road that I didn't see. And that was kind of like the same with Twitter before, right? With you and I, like not having Twitter for a while.
That's and I still don't know how to use it, but it is by far, like, for this type of thing, like, that it seems to be the best social for interacting with people and talking to your friends and stuff. But like you said, like you're still winning, whether it's YouTube isn't translating to Twitch or Twitch isn't translating to YouTube. But I think like we were both recording stuff early, and we both kind of got away from it because Twitch turns into this this beast of you're watching the view count and you're watching your chat, and it's like a competition with yourself, not just with other people. You're like, I want more viewers, I want more views, I want this, blah blah blah. You're just kind of, for me, I know, like, I'm always pushing for stats on Twitch. Like, I want Twitch stats, I want them up here. But you got to see the bigger picture. That's a bit of the blinders on, like, if you want to, like, for me, I know we always talk about, I have a hard time with my schedule because, kids and all of this stuff. And it's just, the time is stretched. Like I said, I get down here right before I do my stream a couple times a week to do this. So I'm like, if I took the opportunity to realize that I have a lot of friends that enjoy my stuff, if I took a step back, slowed it down, and made videos like you're doing, it would be more productive of my time because I can do that over the course of days. Do you know what I mean? And it wouldn't be rushing, so I'd be more rested for the next stream. And it's you know, you can't just be a one trick pony, I don't think. And I mean, if you want to be, sure, but I mean, for me, like when you look at how it fits into your life, you really have to look at how you can make the best use of your time, which we always end up talking about again. But there's a lot of these core themes that go along with this thing, like you with this event, like, you know, you're like, I got to pound out a couple super long streams, but I also need to realize that I need to have this forever content on the side to have it tied in, or the rest of it doesn't make sense. Because we've saw what happened, you know, not that it was poor after your drop event, but there's such an influx for a drop event that you're like, boom, 170 viewers for a week, and then everybody goes back to playing the game. You know what I mean? So if you have that YouTube, that peak of all of that Twitch hype, and then it just kind of, maybe you take that Twitch and you kind of translate it to YouTube, and it just kind of rides along. You know what I mean? So I think you've seen that pattern. I think it's pretty clear in your head. So I'm excited to see how it works out this time around.
Yeah, it's kind of like round 2 for me.
Yeah, exactly.
I have like a way bigger tool belt.
Man. Last time, none of us knew what to do. Like, I'm like building commands into my stream deck as you're streaming, because we're like, we can't keep up with the raffle people. I'm like, what the hell is going on? It was just right out of nowhere, but it was awesome. So
but this time it's like being more ready, you know?
Yeah, it's taking those deep breaths instead of just flying along. So
yeah, like even logically, like I've got containers out behind me that I'm gonna fill with food for meals, so that if I want to do like a 10-hour, like if it goes really well, let's say like maybe I want to do a 10-hour or 12-hour, then I've got food that I'll have containerized basically in the fridge, ready to go. Even stupid little things like hitting people with the ad roll, like the 1-minute ad roll, so that new people don't get hit with it, things like that. And also knowing when to quit too, because last time I was getting kind of anxious, and like I had to stop some streams like 5 hours in, because I'm like, okay, I can't even breathe. Like this is just, it's too much. Like you have 90 people, 80 people staring at you, and then you start thinking, oh, you don't act weird because you got 90 people looking at you, right? And it's then I had to step away and then come back and kind of split up the streams. So I've decided I think I'll probably still split them up. So we'll see how it goes. Just
see how it goes. Exactly. You don't have as much of that fear now as well. There's always we've been saving the imposter syndrome one, because that could be a mini series. But you get to do what's healthy for you. You're in it. Your name's there. You know, if you got to break it up to produce a better stream a couple hours later, just do it. You know, if you can keep rolling, just roll it out. You know, it's just kind of roll with the punches again.
Yeah, you can definitely feel your stream quality descending rapidly sometimes. And like now, like I don't go, like I used to go hunting for a certain view number for the stream, and like, oh, I'll drag it on 5 hours so that I can stay over 200. And now I'm like, honestly, like if this is 100 views, like whatever. I have my YouTube, and this is the long game. And the long game for me right now is to just stop streaming right now and like literally step away and go sleep or whatever. Like,
yeah, you still got to listen to this thing. This is still the fuel, right? And that's what we forget about a lot of the time. But
yeah, like I was just in a stream 20 minutes ago. This guy's name is like Noko Puffs. He's like Nicewig's buddy, and he's kind of like Nicewig and him are like you and I, like they both started streaming at the same time, etc. Anyway, he was saying, I'm so burnt out, I don't know, everything's boring, and like it's just like, dude, take a few days off, man. Like like you're not going to be yourself if you're just sitting here just trying to like regurgitate the yesterday version of yourself every day after, you know, like it's not feasible.
Yeah, no, that's right, for sure.
I did have another note too. I was thinking about Mr. Ace of Spades when he doesn't have we'll shout him out. He doesn't have a Twitter, and it kills me.
I know.
That's one thing that kills me. What do you? Yeah, you're breaking my balls, brother.
Yeah, we love you, man. Get in there.
Because I can't tag him in anything.
I know.
Yeah, and then it's funny with like when I talk to Asa or like musical people, I'm like, it's like, oh well, I want my music to kick off, and it's like, yeah, you've got a lot of good stuff, but I mean, for me now with what I see, I'm like, man, why aren't you on YouTube? Why aren't you on like Twitch or something? Why don't you go on Twitch for 2 hours and go in the music category or whatever it's called? Or why don't you make a couple YouTube videos of you creating beats or whatever? You know, like there's so many different little spots that you can blossom, I guess we'll say.
I told you that night Asa was producing on Discord, and it was just Schmeg and I sitting in there being like, yeah, this is sweet. But it was just two of us, and that's, you know, throw it on stream if you're comfortable with it. You don't have to have a camera or anything. Just just makes
Yeah.
the beats. Just check it out. I love Ace's stuff. He's way better than he thinks he is too, and I actually enjoy that in people when they're like, "Oh yeah, it's not bad," but you're like, "No, dude, you're really good." Like I like
Yeah.
that. It's just super modest dude, super creative. So
It's hard to listen to your own shit or like your own
That's-
videos or anything, right?
I know that's. I mean, I overanalyze how I sit in this every time. I'm like, "Okay, sit up. You look weird."
know, me
blah, blah,
too.
blah. But
I actually sat back for this one because last time I
tried it.
looked gigantic.
I tried it for a second. I was like, I leaned back. I'm like, no, I don't like what's going on here. Get off the
Or
camera.
zoom it in, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's. I want to keep this one short, mainly because I don't want to make a liar out of myself and out of you as well.
For
We keep
3
saying
weeks.
we're gonna make a
They
short
keep
one,
getting
so-
longer. I know. Yeah, that's all you get today.
Yeah, we're keeping her short today. By the time this has come out, hopefully I'm well into the drop event and
Yeah,
we're
absolutely.
vibing in some
Exactly.
capacity.
We'll throw this link out during the drop event there for some people to
Yeah,
get
exactly.
some offline wisdom.
Some offline blossoming. That's what we need,
That's it.
man.
There you go.
We just need something. I think it's Warren Buffett. He says, if you're not making money while you sleep, you're gonna work until you die, or something like that.
Yeah,
Something
yeah,
like the
yeah.
quote.
You're gonna hear me. I
Kind
just
of
said the
ignorant,
audio is gonna
but-
be shit for this. I'm sitting here throwing my remote around on my desk for like 10 minutes. I'm just like tossing it.
I
What
couldn't
the
hear
hell are
it.
you doing? Well, that's good. You definitely heard that one. Anyway,
I heard that one. That's all good.
That's funny.
All right, guys, this is Between the Lives, episode 11. My name is Julian, also known as Mr. Elliott. So go hit me up on Twitch. And what will be tomorrow, we've got Nick, also known as Father Millennial. He should be going live on the Friday as well. So hope to catch you guys there. And if not, hit us with a like and a subscribe on here. And that would be greatly appreciated. Thanks, guys. Bye for now.
See you later.